Hello, welcome back. This is James Herrera from UXShape. Today we're going to continue our inventory mobile app prototype. What we've done so far, we've been able to prototype the splash screen, the onboarding, the landing, and we've done everything that we can do, possibly realistic on Azure. So what we need to do next is to work on the home page or the home screen. So as you can see from our prototype so far, we have the splash screen, and once we slide, we see the onboarding and we can land on the landing page where we can log in, reset our password, sign up, and this is pretty much the standard you will get in any mobile app. So the next page we're going to be working on is the home screen, and the home screen we have something a little bit that we've sketched here. So we're going to be having some menu at the bottom of the page, and we're going to have some ability to add an inventory and do some things that our inventory mobile app is supposed to do. The basic functionality is what we're going to focus our tutorial on today, and as time goes on we can also add more functionalities later. Previously, we're going to be using a lot of dynamic panels again, and I will advise you to watch our dynamic panel tutorial as well, so that you get to understand how dynamic panel works. So let me run you through to what we have here. So the home screen, basically we're going to have a design and layout, how we're going to lay out our page, and then we're going to have interactions, and we're going to have this will be the menu, which is the add inventory menu. So I'll just remove this. Add inventory. We're going to have an history, and we're going to have remove item, and we're going to have the user go back to the home page. So this remove item is going to be the same as the checkout. So basically these are the feature we're going to add for now, and we will go back to our sketch. We have this here, add users. As we continue to prototype, we will realize that the requirement will become more clearer, and we will also make some changes as well. So let's get started and let's open Azure. So we have the welcome. I'll just delete this page, and the first thing we need to do is our page. We need to work on the menu, and in this tutorial I'm going to try not to use some icons right now, so we're just going to use this placeholder for now. So I will have menu here, and this menu we're going to have it I'll make it 60, and I'll put it to align well. Alright, so we remove the border, and we can have it here. So what I'm gonna do, I'll put the menu here for now, and we can add our icons here. So I'll make the icons maybe 1025, and we have that, and I will add a text here which I will make smaller as well again, which is gonna be maybe 10, and I'm gonna unbold it, and I'll just give it a little bit of padding around it, and we have that. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to duplicate this. For first I will align this together and group it. So we're going to make 4 menus. I'll make 4 menus, and we will have it like this for now. So we distribute horizontally, and we align middle. Once we align middle, I'll group it, and then I will align everything center, and I will align middle as well, so it is safe. What I would need to do is maybe add shadow to this image that we're going to be using as our icon. I'll just make this 2, or probably make it 1, and make this 3. All right, so we have this now. What we need to do is to now move this back to the position, and we have our menu. All right, but one thing we need to understand is we need to give it maybe a little bit of border, or we could use an horizontal line, and we could use the horizontal line and differentiate it and give the horizontal line a bit of a little bit of gray, but not too close to white. So maybe something like this, or we could, so using gradient, let's use solid, and we can say this. All right, so since we are just prototyping for now, we will leave it at that. So we have we group this together, and we can make this so I'm just gonna move this a little bit here. All right, so that the space doesn't look too much. All right, so we have our menu sorted out. What we need to work on next, we need to work on the header part. So I'm just gonna drop another, or actually what we have here, I'm gonna grab this one, just group it, and we will name this, give this a color. So that is it. We have our home, and we're not going to make use of the hamburger menu as well, so we are getting rid of that and we are replacing it with this. The next thing we need to work on now is to add a little bit of menu up here, so that maybe the user can click it and they can see more options of our app. Although we might not prototype that, but just to have a good layout, we will use some of the font awesome that we already have. I think what we need to, let's use this ellipsis vertical, and I'll make this white, and make this, yeah, perfect. So what we could do next is I'll just bring this down, and we will have a little bit of we'll have a rectangle widget. I'll make it this size, and have the font awesome icon above it. So I'll make this transparent, and we can put this here. We group this, and we can send this back and bring this forward a bit. All right, so we have this. I'll bring this forward, and bring this forward as well. So what I need to do is to remove the border of this rectangle widget, and the interaction we're going to be adding to it, we're going to be adding it to the rectangle widget instead of the font awesome icon itself, so that when the user is trying to press it, sometimes you might find it difficult to press with your finger, so that when you press any of the area, the user is given the perception that they are pressing on the menu. And sometimes you just need to make this little trick to your prototype. So we have this sorted, and we'll just have a menu here, and say we can make it white, and Maven Pro, and we can say inventory app. All right, so what we need to do, we can have a logo, and we can just stick a logo here. It's always good to have a logo, and we can stick a logo here, and we can make this 16. We can make it smaller if we want to. and we can reduce this, so I can make this maybe 15. So we have that 15, and move it closer to the icon. Yeah, and we can now group this together. Once we group this together, we can make this align center, and we could probably just move it a little bit here. So we have our home page layout. One of the things we need to work on again is on our sketch here. We have a bit of like an history, or the current thing that has been the current stock or the current inventory that has been added onto our page. So I'll just grab another rectangle widget. I will add something here for now, just a little bit of design, and in here I'll make a horizontal line and center this. Just make this, and I'll make this maybe this. Okay, so what we need to do, let's make this 5, move this, make this that. All right, and we could add shadow to this part, and we could make this 3, and we could make this 0. Actually we can just leave it as this for now. All right, so the next thing we need to grab this so that we will show what we have currently, our current inventories, and I'll just make this something like this, and let's reduce this border color. It's a bit too dark. Let's reduce it a bit. Instead of using gradient, let's use full, and we can make this, let's make it 100%. Okay, perfect. We have this as this. So let's align this together, and that is fine. We can align this now. Yep. Okay, so this is the section where we're going to have our what we have here. We're going to have some of the inventory that we've already checked in. That means inventory that we've added. So I'll just go quickly here and say home. So we go back to home, and we're going to go back to add item, and I'm gonna say remove item, and I'm gonna say here history of item. So what I need to do is to make sure we make this, let's give this a little bit of space, and let's ungroup this, and let's make sure we have this item highlighted properly. I'll just ungroup this, highlight it, and we can give it a bit of alignment, and we can group this. All right, so we have this add item, we have home, we have add item, remove item, and history, and we can just add icons to it as we go along with our prototype. So this is what we have here. So the next thing we're going to do is on our page here, we have a inventory at a glance. So I'm just gonna add here and say inventory at a glance. And we could change this font. We can make these white and change this color as well, and we can remove the background. So inventory at a glance. So what we are trying to do here, we are showing to the user, I'm going to remove this for now. what we are showing to the user is we are showing inventory at a glance, what the user already has in their inventory. So what we could do, we could now have different types of inventories at a glance, which is similar to the my history as well, what we're going to be prototyping in the history session. So it's going to be similar to that. So I'll just give this a bit of color, raise this up, and we can say, we can drop some text here and say inventory maybe 2018, or you know, we can say January 2018. Instead of using the text, the heading widget, we could probably just put this at the center, or let's leave it as it is, and we can say, we can put a button here which says view. So we can just put it as view for now. So let's make it view, and we have this. We can change the font size, and we can make this 12. And what we could do, we could give this, a black color and give it a text of white, and we could make this 5. All right, so we have this, and then we could change this to 16. Like this. Actually, we might want to make this maybe 15 and have this here, and we can now make this centered. All right, so we have January 2018, and what we could do, we could now make these we could make this black. Let's make the background here gray, a little bit lighter. We can remove the border that we have here, and we have this. We can remove the border for this one as well too. And what we just need to do is just to duplicate these into maybe 3 or 4. So we have so what we are trying to do here, we're trying to say to the user all the inventory that they've done so far, maybe from February. We can say, yeah, February 2018. Although we are not in March yet, so we can just say March for now. It's just a test. And we can call this April. Okay, so now this will show to the user that this is what we have so far. Let me see if it's better to have it on bold. All right, yeah, it's better to have it on bold. And we could now, let's move this a bit. Distribute, vertically align, yep, and we can now make these we can reduce this. Let's leave it at 5. Yep, perfect. but we still need to make sure everything is aligned properly. We have this now, and we need to make sure the top as well is okay. Yeah. We group this together. So here, this inventory at a glance, we can ungroup this, and we could give this a shadow. Here we could say this is 5, and we could say this remain at we could change the x-axis to 3, and we could leave it at that. Yeah, so inventory at a glance, and we could give this a shadow. Let's see how it's gonna look like if we give it a shadow. We can remove this, make this 3, and leave it at 5. Okay, so things looks all right now. So the next thing we're going to do is we can just add a little bit of design here, just to, you know, give our page a bit of flesh. And we can have this and then make this a little bit lighter. All right, so we have this design, which is like an history. We have it already there, so let's group this together, and then let's align all this and make sure everything is okay. Distribute vertically. Perfect, and we can now move this a little bit up. So what we have here, we have our home page set up right now, and the home page gives us the ability to check what we've already added to our inventory. So we're just going to be adding more to this list, and as we go on, we'll be having this. So it's showing us inventory at a glance, and that is what we have general, and we can view more. So in our next tutorial, we're going to be prototyping how we can add an item into our inventory, and how we can remove an item, and also checking the history, which is going to be something similar to the home page as well. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question or comments, leave it in the comment below, and I'll be glad to reply to your comment. And also in our next tutorial, we will be prototyping a lot using dynamic panel, and also adding some interaction. So if you like this tutorial, subscribe to our channel and you will receive more of our video updates. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in our next tutorial. Bye for now.